So this is how all of this happened, and now we're short-term rental investors, and it's become absolutely what I do. A few years later, was able to retire with it, so that tells you how much I believe in it. Absolutely love the industry.
Welcome to the Texas Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview Texas real estate professionals from active real estate investors, lenders, property managers, and many others that provide goods and services into the real estate investing industry in the great state of Texas. Our goal is simple: to share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level, and to meet the pros that can help you get there. Texas Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and entrepreneurs build the business they need to live the life that they've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Sandy Lee, is a real estate investor and educator. She's the owner of Distilled Destinations and STR Jumpstart, and has a background in engineering and construction. Sandy, welcome to the show.
So nice to be here, and thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on here. And your background lends itself towards, being able to break down processes and being able to identify systems, right? Engineering, construction. Walk me through how you went from a long career in engineering and construction into being a real estate investor. Was that something that you had on your horizons?
Boy, not at all. Not at all. And I think most people don't, right? So I went engineering, construction, services, and then sort of into the financial part of our business in my engineering firm. I was a bit of a problem solver at work. I was all over the place and ended up as a senior vice president. And then at the end of our career, I ran our financial branch of our investing part of our firm. And so that's where I really started learning into investments and financial modeling. And I was like, oh, wait, there's maybe a better way to invest out there. Meanwhile, my son had gone to college in Colorado and kept putting this out there that, hey, we need a ski condo. And I was like, we absolutely do not need a ski condo. This is not what we're going to do with our lives. But, all of this kept plunking around in my brain. And at some point a year later, ski condo. So then I had an investment, right? And so this is how all of this happened. And now we're short-term rental investors, and it's become absolutely what I do. A few years later, was able to retire with it. So that tells you how much I believe in it. Absolutely love the industry.
Now, when we talk about engineering background, engineering mindset, I've seen this go two ways. I've seen the engineers dive in and, like yourself, probably figure out, hey, how do I reverse engineer being a real estate investor? How do I do this step by step? But then I've also seen the folks who say, hey, there's too much risk in that for me. I'm going to stay out of that entirely. Do you think that the engineers can sometimes fall into one of those two categories?
Well, absolutely. And I laugh with my family that I'm a little bit of an 80 percenter. And I say that in the most love for myself. I don't over engineer anything. I go almost to the end of everything and then I get it out, right? Like, you cannot be a perfectionist in this industry, I believe. You have to get it done and get it out. And that goes for buying a home and not working too much of the how risky is this? You've got to get it furnished. You've got to get it on the market. You've got to get somebody in there if it's a long-term rental. And then if it's a short-term rental, you've got to get it out there and start getting people in there and start making the money, right? So I don't consider myself that one of those really, really technical over engineering type of personalities at all. But you've got to, what I do consider in the engineering realm of all of this is document everything, be really organized. You've got to be a multitasker like there's no tomorrow, right? Like that's the part that really serves me well in this industry.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Now, when we talk about short-term rentals, I think this is part of the glitz and glamour part of real estate where people tend to think about short-term rentals, fix and flip, HGTV, like, let's do this. But it's not so easy. You know, I'm licensed in Texas, and I know in Dallas specifically, short-term rentals, I think to this day right now, you can't do an Airbnb less than 30 days in Dallas. So there's always the possibility that is no longer an option. But then you've also got to acquire these properties at the right price. You've got to make sure that they're booked out. You've got to make sure that you're staying highly rated on Airbnb. You can lose your whole account. There's so much that goes into this. So walk our audience through really what it's like being an Airbnb host, a short-term rental investor, and not just what they're hearing.
Absolutely. So there is a glitz and glamour piece of it. And for me, I've chosen markets where they've already gone through the process of figuring out what the regulations are going to be in that market. I think that's really important. That's a risk that I'm not willing to take. I want to know that they've already figured that out and I buy in the green zone. Then I've chosen vacation markets and I've done that on purpose. I want, here's the glitz and glamour piece, for my family to be able to use that as a vacation home when I'm not renting it out. That's amazing. That's a real perk that I want for my family. But then also, they do make more money if you pick the right properties than a long-term rental or than some of the other real estate pieces. That's what I've loved about it. So you can take the risk out of it by picking a market where they've already done the work to come up with the regulations in that market, and then picking the right property and doing a lot of the upfront work with the math. But then, yeah, they can make more money. It does take a little more work if you manage it yourself. But these days, the software is so fantastic. AI does a lot of the work for you. All you need is a great cleaner and a great handyman. And honestly, you can have a short-term rental in any market, many states away. I'm a big fan of it. I've got them in 4 states. I work realistically on my short-term rentals about 6 hours a week.
Now, when we're talking about managing these properties, what comes into my head is, well, most of the time people are going to be self-managing until they get to a certain point. That does lend itself, especially in the short-term rental space, to, well, now you've bought yourself another job. So if you have a job, it can be difficult to have a short-term rental. Do you think that the STR space really lends itself to people who have more availability or have the ability to pay a cleaning crew? Is it possible to self-manage these when you have a job already?
Absolutely. I think if you have a job already and you have an outlook of 10 to 20 years left in your career, get 1 or 2 short-term rentals, manage them yourself, spend that 5 hours a week, have a good cleaning crew and a handyman that can really do a good job for you. But the software is so great. If you have the right tech stack in place, it will manage your pricing for you. It will manage the messaging for you. You set it up one time, there's a set it and forget it thing that happens these days. So it's about just knowing how to set it up the first time and then you're problem solving. As long as you can kind of let problems get solved easily and roll off your back a little bit, it's a 5-hour a week job. And then it's making money for you, a little bit of cash flow. It's earning you equity each year. You're having someone else pay down your mortgage. Real estate is magical. It's just magical. I find it really a wonderful business.
I'm with you there. That's why I'm still really in love with the business. And I got in the distressed space, so foreclosures, probate, divorce, anything. Also distress in the home, right? The home could be dilapidated, older homes. But then I've also seen that it's, I would say, personality based as well. The same person who's going to be an amazing short term rental host.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Might not do so well in another segment or niche within the real estate space. How did you
Completely agree.
how did you identify short term versus say long term or corporate housing or multifamily?
I think what I love is, again, setting up a procedure and an operations manual and having a sort of to-do list and a plan. And short-term rentals really lend themselves to that. The other thing I love is taking my family on vacation. And for 2 weeks a year, you can use your property for your kids, for your grandkids, and all of that. You still get the tax benefits as long as it's, I believe it's 14 days a year or less. It might be 12 without losing any of those benefits to your bottom line. So that's the thing that really appealed to me. So I agree with you. Every personality is gonna lend itself to one of the different ways of doing business. And short-term rentals was it for me. I like the vacations.
The Colorado, I love Colorado. I think
Of course.
anybody who's vacationed, who's skied, who's done any of the outdoors activities in Colorado has the same sentiment. And now I don't know if it's going to continue forever, but it does also seem to be the case that there's a lot of people who are looking at Colorado either to move to or to have a short-term rental. I'm curious to get your perspective. Do you look at some of this as you have to get in before the migration hits, so to speak? Like you have to get into the market before everyone else is aware of it, or once everyone else is looking at these places like the Denvers of the world and other cities in Colorado, that also indicates that hey, there might be some competition there, but it's an opportunity where I can hop in as well.
I think the trick is finding something special at about a specific market before everyone else does. For me, it was in Steamboat. Aspen bought Steamboat, and I got in shortly after that, but sort of before everybody else figured it out. So it was after COVID. So prices had already doubled there, but they hadn't gone up their full amount. So even after I bought 2022 or something, it's still gone up another 30% since then, right? So it was still crazy, but it's more crazy now. Then I bought another one in North Carolina where it's at the top of a mountain and someone had just bought the ski resort there. It was all closed down. They've just reopened it. Now it's been another year. In 2 years, it'll be amazing. I just bought a property in Houston that's not a short term rental. They're going to do construction on the freeway here for 10 years. But in 10 years, this place is going to be amazing, right?
Amazing.
So it's like, so I'm always trying to get in way before the market. It's a long-term view. Figure out what's going on and look at something that other people won't be willing to wait for. To me,
I
that's the secret.
Yeah, and I've said this on other episodes is that people in real estate specifically, and especially newer folks, are looking for the fast money in real estate, and that's tricky. You've got to
Yeah,
be on it. And I would say the fast money in real estate is actually slow money. It's, hey, let me wait 5 years, 10 years. Let me hold on to this. I have not yet met one investor who's told me, boy, do I regret holding on to this property that I bought outside of this metro 20 years ago. No one says that. And
that's
so
right.
when we talk about, the long-term strategy, it's the consistency that counts. Now, I know you're also involved really with helping folks get into the space with your STR Jumpstart. How did that come about? Were you having people come up to you saying, "Hey, I see what you're doing with these rentals, these short-term rentals. I want to get into that space." How did it come about for you?
That was really just a product of my long-term engineering and construction career and how much management I did there, and all of this just plunking around in my head, that when I started, I couldn't find the course that I wanted. And I just kept feeling like I had something to say. And after retirement, you have some time on your hands. And so at some point, about 6 months ago, I just started writing a script. I had something to say, right? And so recently, we launched about a month ago.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
It's about a 6-hour course, and it's 50 lessons, just really detailed. And I don't think that's out there somewhere else. It's at strjumpstart.com. So if people are interested in really getting the bones of how to do a short-term rental, that's what this could do for you. Really detailed stuff, and the website kind of tells you all about it.
Without giving away all the gold, maybe just a gold nugget, so they'll go to the website. When folks are looking at short-term rentals in particular, there's really a number of different strategies. I've worked with a lot of these investors in San Antonio, in DFW, outside of Austin, in the Texas markets, where you're looking at, pre-foreclosures, you're looking at distressed properties, you're looking at doing some type of value add rehab, but then instead of, flipping it, or instead of putting it into a long-term rental, it's a short term. Do you have a preferred method for acquisitions, whether it's one of those or maybe something that I didn't mention?
So I talk some about how I picked each one of my very specific markets. But really, what I've tried to do in my course is not that, because I do think there's a lot of that out there with great gurus who've been doing this for 30 years. What I've tried to do is what other people haven't done, which is the nuts and bolts of the everyday operations. It's what exactly should my tech stack be? What pieces of software do I buy, and how do I put them together? Do I need to hire anybody, and how? How would I scale up? What do I do each week? How much time
Yeah.
is this
Yeah.
actually going to take from my day? So to me, it's the boring part that no one wants to talk about, but I think is worth, maybe spending a little money on, to actually have a forever guide that they can keep forever, and have, 6 hours worth of videos to keep forever.
Now, I want to dive into this a little bit. Again, without giving away all the gold here. When we talk about managing, specifically on Airbnb, which is what I've been familiar with. I actually live abroad. I live in the Dominican Republic, and
Mhm.
my first experience coming over here was through Airbnb. You can Airbnb, just like in the United States, whole homes, condos, townhomes, apartments, and from all the way super upscale to something more, rental grade. And what I've seen is that on Airbnb specifically, so much is riding on everyone else's reviews, as well as the photos that you have up, and not just that, the niche that you're providing for people. So if you're in a college town, is it college themed, right? That
Yep.
might be a draw there. Is
Right.
any of that, super important? Do you think some of that is overstated? What's your perspective on some of those topics?
Well, I think all of that is really important, and you're really at Airbnb's mercy for where they're going to put you in their algorithm. But I think the most important thing is how many people will buy a property and just throw it on Airbnb, and that's so important not to do. You should get the software that's going to manage your property, which is only like $50 a month, so that you can have it copy it over to Airbnb, Verbo, Booking.com, and your own direct booking website for no more effort. And right away, you'll double your revenue. So just most people don't know those very simple little secrets, that as soon as they buy a property, so many people, more than half, that only put it on Airbnb. So just right away, they can double their revenue just by putting it on four, different platforms from day one
That's a
with no
huge
more
thing.
effort. Yeah,
That's
that's a
that's
huge thing.
and I think, to your point, most people are maybe going to look at it from, well, I'm self-managing this. This is going to be maybe a larger undertaking. I don't necessarily want to have it on all these different platforms.
Right. Let's keep it
Uh,
simple.
yeah, when they end up doing that, it's kind of like the same mentality of someone who says, well, I'm going to keep my own books. And then at the end of the year, they're playing catch up, with accountants and a tax strategist
Right.
trying to figure everything else out. When we talk about that upfront work that people are doing, they've got the actual physical property ready to go. They maybe have a cleaning crew in there, but then getting that up onto these other platforms, and initially, the maybe nervous energy from the first couple bookings. What's the learning curve like for folks, and can they expect that, within maybe a handful of months, that it will smooth itself out for them?
Even less. I mean, for me, it was a month or so, and maybe I'm kind of easygoing, but my first couple of bookings were really scary. But as soon as I had those first couple of bookings over, I mean, they got way easier. But now I never even look at a door camera anymore, right? Like it just goes. My business just runs by itself. Everything's fine. If I get a phone call, I'll answer it and see what people need. And I get all 5-star reviews. I answer, the messages right away, and people love that. I have great guides. People love to hear from me, right? Like it's just so easy to keep people happy by answering quickly and giving them what they need. I just find it to be a really easy and rewarding, wonderful business to give people a great vacation for very little effort. And yes, I think it's really easy to do while you still have a job, and such a great financial reward.
I think one of the things that's understated in this too, which you said, is you're able to provide an experience for people, and what makes a short-term rental host a great successful host is exactly that you got to respond quickly, right? And I think some of this stuff, it would be self-explanatory, except when it's self-explanatory until it isn't, right? You get a bad review and then your whole profile gets tanked. Some of this, I would say, as you don't necessarily want to think about that, but you also want to be on these other platforms in case something like that does happen. Because one wrong
Absolutely.
thing can happen. You're diversified in a way.
Yep, absolutely. I would say of my revenues, it's about 30% Airbnb, 30% Vrbo, and then the rest is split between booking.com and direct bookings. So it really makes me pretty safe in case something goes wrong with one of the platforms.
We are coming up on time here, Sandy. Where can folks go to learn more about STR Jumpstart? How can they maybe reach out to you? Maybe they've got a property that they're thinking about buying and not sure, but would like to learn more about the STR space.
Sure. So I'm easily findable at Sandy at STR Jumpstart by an email, or the website is strjumpstart.com. You can also find me at My Distilled Destinations if you want to come find one of my properties. So please feel free, or on socials at Distilled Destinations or STR Jumpstart.
Sandy, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. Great to see you, and I look forward to listening to all the podcasts coming up.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. If you're looking to take your business and your life to the next level, you really need to learn more about the Investor Fuel Mastermind. It's your shortcut to success. To learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other amazing entrepreneurs, 100% financing on your deals, member-only discounts, and so much more, please visit investorfuel.com/Texas. By the way, Investor Fuel is even Texas-based. Also, if you're interested in applying to be a guest on this very show, the Texas Real Estate Pro Show, please visit investorfuel.com/Texas. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app so you never miss another episode. We'll see you on the next show.